Premier, this evidence, repeated again at ICAC this morning, this conversation with Daryl Maguire, you say, William tells me, he says, William tells me we've done our deal, so hopefully that's about half of all that gone, referring to his $1.5 million debt, and you say, I don't need to know about that bit. Why did you say I don't need to know about that bit, Premier?
Oh, Mr Clennell, I answered those questions during 6 hours of public evidence on Monday, so I refer you to that.
I did say at the ICAC that there was information that you didn't want to know about. What was that information in relation to his activities?
Again, I spent 6 hours being very open and transparent, and I refer you to those comments there.
Why weren't you open and transparent?
Sorry? That the phone taps do show that Mr Maguire told you that he stands to make $1.5 million from a deal at Badgerys Creek that would clear his debt. He also said that he took Louise Waterhouse to your office to try and sort out a problem with her land across the road from Badgerys Creek. Can you, hand on heart right now, say you didn't know what he was up to?
Firstly, one of the facts in your question is actually incorrect, but in any event, hand on heart...
Which one?
Hand on
Which
heart,
one's incorrect, Premier?
Excuse me, hand on heart, I have done nothing wrong, and I refer everybody to my evidence on Monday. And I also say this, Mr Maguire was in Parliament for nearly 20 years. Many of us trusted him, and many of us have been let down by him.
Okay, in 2018...
I'm sorry?
New evidence has come forward today, so it's separate to what you said on Monday. He said there was information that you didn't want to know about in relation to his activities. What was that information you didn't want to know about?
Well, again, I refer you to my evidence on Monday. I'm not aware of what's happened this morning, but I say this. I've been supportive as a witness to the proceedings, and I'll continue to do so. I've been extremely open and transparent. I've done nothing wrong. I haven't been accused of doing anything wrong, and I just ask everybody to respect the process, let the ICAC do their job, and let them make sure that they get a thorough hearing of all the evidence today.
Premier, in 2018...
actively limit the amount of information that you knew about Daryl Maguire's business dealings?
I've already made that very clear, and absolutely not.
In 2009...
I'm sorry?
Because I don't need to know about that set in boredom or disinterest or to shield yourself from corrupt activities.
I actually made comments in relation to that during my public evidence, and I ask you to refer to those comments because they were very open and transparent, very honest, and I just ask you to refer to those.
In 2018, he left Parliament because of corruption allegations. Why did you not go down to ICAC then, or have your lawyer write to ICAC and say, I've been with this man and I'm aware of his land deals. You are the Premier after all.
Can I just say this, that I have been absolutely overly cooperative with ICAC from the outset.
In 2018?
All I will say is this, you cannot disclose many of the proceedings that happened behind closed doors, but I will say this, that I've been overly cooperative.
Did you speak to them in 2018? Did you speak to them in 2018?
Again, I've said this, that it's important to respect the processes, and can I say this, it's really, really important, because if you breach any of the processes, it is not a good thing.
On any of the 8 occasions...
testimony that you gave on Monday that your relationship started in 2015.
What I will say is, whatever I've said openly and transparently is in the evidence on Monday.
Premier, how concerned are you that the ICAC released transcripts and tapes, concerning your personal details yesterday afternoon?
Yeah, suffice to say, it hasn't been pleasant, and unfortunately it didn't happen once but twice, and I accepted their apology this
Do you
morning.
accept the telephone number concerned is now disconnected, so no one could contact you on it anyway?
I don't want to comment on that.
Premier, did Daryl Maguire at any stage tell you that the lobbying he was doing for Louise Waterhouse, that he was seeking to make a profit from that deal?
Oh, look, I've already made comment about that, and so has Miss Waterhouse, and I just ask you to refer to what's on the public record already.
Daryl said perhaps yes, he might have told you.
Well, I say please refer to the public record.
In 2018...
Yesterday you challenged the opposition leader to repeat her questions outside. Jodie McKay has done that. Will you take legal action against the opposition leader?
Oh, look, I'm just focused on doing my job for New South Wales, and can I say this? I appreciate what happened on Monday was shocking for people. I was very honest, very upfront, but my focus remains on the people of the state, and that's where my focus remains.
In 2018, you went 8 times to the Wagga Wagga by-election campaign. On any of those occasions, did you see Daryl Maguire? How many?
I have always conducted my official business officially, and I've made that distinction very clear. Private is private.
So you didn't see him? Are you saying you didn't see him, Premier?
What I'm saying is that I've always conducted my business officially.
No, you're not answering the question, Premier, sorry. Are you saying...
Not to my recollection.
Premier, how confident are you that you will lead the Liberal Party for the next state election?
Very confident.
These actions that you've undertaken, saying, I don't need to know that bit, stay away from me, these conversations on the tapes. And the fact you only ended the relationship with Daryl Maguire once you'd been to a private hearing of ICAC, they indicate that you're a leader who's not about right or wrong, but whether or not she'll be caught.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I strongly refute that.
Given the corruption Daryl Maguire has now admitted to, do you expect he'll be stripped of his parliamentary pension?
Oh, look, that's a matter for the various bodies. There's a committee that looks at those matters and I'll leave it to them.
And that wasn't legislation you yourself introduced in 2017?
Absolutely, and I expect everybody to act in accordance with that legislation.
When you said you weren't surprised at how much the land deal would reap on the phone call, didn't any part of you say this could end badly?
Look, I just ask you to refer to my public evidence, which was in full view over the course of 6 hours on Monday.
Do you still think it's okay for MPs to lobby for land deals while they're in the parliament?
Look, I've always said that I am more than happy to consider arrangements that increase the accountability with which MPs are held, and I'm always happy to consider recommendations, whether they're from integrity bodies or from members of parliament, to further put restrictions on the activities of MPs.
You didn't want to know because he hadn't been appropriate with his disclosures, did you?
I'm sorry, I've already answered that question.
You didn't want to know, Premier, did you?
That is not correct.
You said you didn't want to know, Premier.
That is not correct.
Have any of your colleagues over the past 48 hours suggested that you should consider your position?
Can I say, I just want to thank the support that I've received from the community and also from my colleagues, which is deeply appreciated.
What's the test for you to resign?
When I've done something wrong.
In your assessment, how do you think that the ICAC has handled the hearings this week, given it's very sensitive to your private life?
Oh, look, that's a matter for them, and I don't think it's appropriate for me to comment whilst the hearings are still going.
Did anyone from your office ask Natalie Ward this morning to ask a question of the Commissioner in relation to the accidental leaking of the transcript?
I'm not aware of what's gone on this morning.
Has your office not told you they asked Natalie Ward to ask that question?
Honestly, I'm not aware. I actually have been preoccupied with COVID this morning, made sure I got a briefing, and also made sure that I was advised about the 3 aircraft that are landing in New South Wales from New Zealand, which is a big deal today.
Did you ever ask Daryl Maguire whether he had disclosed all his business dealing? Seeing that there was a line, did you ever ask that question?
Again, that was in the public evidence.
If this scandal came out before the last election, would you have won?
I can't look into a crystal ball.